Good morning, traders. Welcome to our trading room. And for my YouTube viewers, my apologies. We didn't post out the video for a while, but also to inform you that probably I wouldn't be posting a lot of videos on YouTube because for this year, the goal for this year is to make all the traders who are already in the group successful. Make sure everyone is, because we have some extremes in the group. We have extremely successful traders, and we have traders who are still struggling. If you're struggling in the group, that's kind of an extreme for me. And we have a lot of traders who are making profit, but not the kind of profit I'd like to see them make. So the whole thing about this year is getting everybody successful who are participating in the group actively. If you're another thing, information you might like to have, if you're one of the few people who follow me, and I think there's only about 1,000 people who still follow me. If you're one of those people and you're not in the group and you would like to join, if you can't afford to join fully, which you may still have a chance to join by until the end of this year, the installment program is open for you, but it's going to open until the end of February. At the end of February, I'll close that program, which means anyone who did not join the installment program by the end of February will no longer have that opportunity. I'll close that opportunity for good, right? Because it's a waste of my time. I think it's a waste of my time, and it's a waste of energy reposting so many videos for people who are not really keen. That was to help people who are struggling and couldn't afford to buy the course. You had enough time to make that decision if you're one of the few people who follow me, right? Great. If not, then nothing else I can do. If that $100 is still a big struggle for you to pay, then my advice to you is you probably don't have enough capital to trade. And whatever small capital you have to trade, if you try to use that to trade, you're likely going to lose it. I think I've done a video of this like a couple of years ago, where I was asked the question, what size of capital you need to trade? And I kind of said, the more the better, right? If you're trading with small capital, and this is from my personal experience, because I've done this on like 10 demos. If I trade now personally with a 10K account, I start winning and then I blow it. I blow it not because I can't trade, not because I don't know what I'm, because I get impatient and I get bored. And I start really putting on pressure, like increasing the lot size and all, because if you're used to a certain volume, you can't go down. And when you start trading and you start winning, the natural thing you would do is tend to increase the volume. And if you're like me, you like risk, you'll probably go high risk. Most times you'll end up. But if I take 100K and trade, then very likely it's going to be a successful account, because I've done that in 3 or 4 demos before and on real account. So the question for you is whether you think what we do here is beneficial to you. That is a question you have to answer for yourself. A lot of traders ask me that, and the choice is always yours. Just go and look at the work we do. I am not trying to convince anyone to join. Let me just make that very clear. Right? This is not to convince you to join. This is to say, well, I have less time to waste on social media now, and I think more on to focus on those who seriously want to learn to trade. Right? Convincing anybody to wave analysis work is not my thing anymore. I did that when I was young, 10 years ago. For the first 5 years of my trading career, I tried to convince people that is finished. We are convinced it's working and we're happy where we are, right? As a group. So if you want to join us, you have a chance until the end of this month to make a decision on the installment, or if you can pay full, join. That might still be open until the end of this year, then I'll make a decision on that one. So that said, let's go. The group will still exist and we'll still trade. The group is not going anywhere. This group is for a lifetime. As long as I'm here and as long as all the great traders we have in the group are here, the group will still function. So when I said I'm not doing this or I'm closing this program, it doesn't mean, oh, YouTube like to have people who, have nothing else to do but to write crazy comment. Don't write it. It's a waste of time. I'll just delete them. We're not going anywhere. So even if you think I'm missing, we are here daily and we do like 5, 6 sessions a day, because the reason I'm talking about this is because I got some questions. Hey, what happened to you? I haven't seen your YouTube videos. Nothing happened to me. Nothing happened to the group. We're still trade every day, and we trade at least 3 times a day, sometimes 5, 4 or 5 times, right? So that said, let's go. I want to start with CAD because, like I said, if you find one trend that is a yearly trend, you can literally pull out money from that trend, like if you're having an ATM. So let's start with this one. You notice it broke the top, and that is really, really, really important, because if you were following me for a while, we were expecting it to break the top when this flat was completed. Right, when this flat was completed, we were expecting it to break the top. But sorry, guys. The way I expected to break the top was more like this, not with so much consolidation, right? There were too many consolidations. So when we look at all the consolidation, immediately we were left with options that if this is a consolidation, then it will come here and it's going to come back to the bottom and then go break the top and then come back like this. Because the next move you have to have would be this one, right? After you've completed that. This would be the flat we're looking for. And then that pattern was what we had. And we actually did that forecast some years back. I think it was since last year. We did it on this chart. Good. So these were the two options we looked for. And you can tell from when we did it, it was when it was here. This was the point from when we started doing that. So what we said is that it's going to be one of the, at this point, I thought this one is going to go and break the top, come back here, go finish this move, and then come down, right? Because the bigger picture is this. This is what we're looking for. But then when it started to consolidate here, we went back into the charts and we add this second option that it might not break the top. It might come here, go back there, come here, and then do this. Now that we have broken the top, this option is out. That option is no longer valid based on the patterns. Can it become something more complex? Probably. We don't have enough information to draw any other pattern. So we're going to stick to this one. That is probably going to come down here now. How high this is going to go now is the question, because it can go much higher. So I'm going to come back to where I am, and this could go much higher. Nobody says once you break the top, there's no point of where it's going to stop. It could stop anywhere. It could stop right where it is. It could make a consolidation and go. But immediately what you're thinking, and if my traders remember last week when we saw this, I was like, it's probably going to go up one more and break this top. We actually sold that on Friday. I took the trade, closed the trade very well. Right? If you follow the rules of closing the way we close trades, you should have took this trade here and closed it right in here. That's what I did. And I thought, literally, I thought it was just going to be a pullback and I'll sell again. But then it went up, came here, and I was Friday afternoon, so I just left it. We're here this morning and we're back in the sell. Right? Those who were in the Asian session with me this morning should be in this trade on the 5 minutes. We're looking at this running flat. This 1, 2, 3, and it actually came here. It was going to be a regular flat, but it's more of a running flat. So if you had your entry over here, you're in this trade. Now, if you're not in this trade at the moment, you may want to wait for this to consolidate some more and then put an entry here. This is way too small because I think this will become the impulse. So if this becomes the impulse, then you would want a consolidation here. So if you're in this trade, you know how to close it and you know you should close it and you know what to do, right? So we're not going to go into that details on YouTube. I'm talking to my traders who are in the group with me right now, just in case a YouTube viewer wants to know who I'm talking to, right? So if you're in this one, close that trade. If it doesn't break out, close it and wait for the bigger correction. If it breaks out, stay with it, right? So you'll have enough time to make that decision. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I do have a cough, so if I cough accidentally, excuse me. What we're going to be looking for now is some kind of a flat here. And then we're going to sell that flat down to the bottom. Can this just break the low and go back up? Yeah, but it's coming down really sharp. If it's going to go back up, you'd be looking for a three-wave structure, which means some kind of a deeper consolidation back to the top, drop here, and then go. So if you're tagged accidentally, use a stop above the top. Don't keep it to go back to the top. When we use the stop there, it's not about keeping it to go back to the top, right? It's just a way of protection. Should it go to the top, that's the max you want. That's your maximum loss, right? That gauge is how much you're going to lose in the account. So we'll see what goes here. I think there's a good chance we're going to consolidate more here and then drop. So maybe by New York session, we will get that trade and we'll see how it goes from there, right? On the 5 minutes, just let it come back closer here and then take it off. Okay, that's it. Let's go. So the CAD one is the one you want to pay attention to, because if this is the start of the drop, you don't want to miss those trades. If it makes a new high, we're going to sell again. Can we buy it to make a new high? Every buy would be a risk. It doesn't mean you can buy it, but every buy will be a risk. So you'll have to be careful with that, right? That said, let's go. One thing more to, especially for my YouTube viewers who will be watching this. The reason we're also more focused on the group is because the number one thing we're going to be focusing on this year is how to close trades, not how to enter trades. Because the reason if you're losing trades right now, it's because you're not being able to close your trades the right time, which means there's no understanding where the market is at. Dollar index. So dollar index, we expected this to take off, but it took off. You should have been out of that trade. It dropped and then it went back up. So if you're looking at the dollar index, there's a very, very high probability we're going to break this top and then turn. I don't think it's going to continue to go a lot more, but it could break the top and then turn. Because that is very sharp, the likelihood of them breaking the top is really, really high now. So can it consolidate here and then go break the top? Yeah, that's possible. So come back here. And there's a very good chance you're going to get a bigger consolidation rather than just this, which means I wouldn't be surprised if it stays here for a while. Give us a consolidation like this and then go. This is a trade you can take, especially if you get a big consolidation. If it's just a 15 minutes or a 1 hour flag, you want to be really careful with the buy. The deeper the consolidation, the better the buy will be. But like I said, if it's a really small one, you want to be really, really careful with the buy there, right? Because it's not a lot. It's just one spike, go there, and then it could start to reverse. Silver. I thought silver would be a buy from this one, right? And then it actually didn't break the top. So take this out. It actually came down here. This sharp move, it could still be a buy setup, but there's a very, very sharp move here. So be careful. It could be a sell setup, but probably is a flat. I think this is a consolidation. I don't think this will drop through the bottom right now. It's going to drop, but not right now. But if you get a sell setup here, you may want to take the risk. 1 second, guys. I have a cold and this is bothering me a little. Sorry about that, yeah. So there is a very good chance that if dollar index consolidate downwards, we will probably retest this top before it drops. This eventually is going to drop. Right? The question is, how high would it go? Now, I think there's a chance we're going to get one more up. So it's open for a buy if you get a good flag to buy. Probably not right here because of the sharp move. But should it go there, drop, make a new low, and then start going up, I think we can buy it. We should go to buy. If you get a sell setup and you want to go with a sell, it's an aggressive sell to put the sell here because you have the sharp move, which means it can tag you, come here, go back up, drop, and then go. If you understand that, then you will know how to exit the trade. And you should exit, right? So we can put an aggressive sell here, but with the expectation that should it start pull back, you're out of that trade, right? Don't keep it. If that doesn't happen and it keeps going well, we'll wait for a setup to buy. Gold should be a buy. Gold was a sell on Friday. It worked well. If you noticed on gold, we are expecting this down move, and I do think it's going to happen. Right, this one is going to happen. It's just not happening as yet. This pullback is getting sharp, which means there's a good chance we'll retest the top. But before you retest the top, you notice all the moves, all the corrections are very sharp, right? What that means is that you're getting a series of running flats. Right? We're not gonna put which is yet because we'll figure that out later. But every time you do that and it goes up, you get a flag before it goes. See that flag? See that flag? See this flag? This is even a bigger one here. And there's a chance you'll probably get a flag here and we can buy that. So let's go into the structure in the 15 minutes. We were looking for a buy setup this morning in the 15 and the 5, waiting for it to pull back. I wanted to pull back here on a small running flat to enter the trade. That didn't happen. I didn't put the entry order and as such, not in that trade, right? But it did go up a little, right? It's kind of go up a little more here slowly. So probably now that you missed all the small ones, what you do is you wait for a bigger one, go into 15 minutes and wait for a 15 minutes correction. So you're waiting for something like this under 15 minutes or something like this under 15 minutes. So if it starts to correct here, we'll expect something more like this. And if we get that, we can go with the trade. What if this is the top? Well, if that is the top, what is going to happen is this one is going to come lower to the bottom here, go back up there, and then we get this. And if you get something like this, you're going for this trade. So we'll have to wait and see which one we get. Euro. Euro dropped, not the way we expected. This trade should have been closed. It went back, came down. You could have sold this, but I don't think anybody was there at that time trading. That was pretty early. Very likely it's going to drop one more, maybe not now. You can put the entry order, but I don't think it's now. There's a good chance this one is going to go up more and then drop. break the low, and then go back up. Pretty much like the dollar index breaking the top. So when it breaks the low, we'll have a choice. We discussed this on Friday, which one we want. Do we want this running flat? Or do we want this running flat? And both of them are possible. We could even leave this running flat as it is. Nothing's wrong with that. And you can put this as a separate correction of its own, right? You can put this as a separate correction of its own because there's a lot of correction in this. That could be kind of a great structure. Should this work its way back to the top like this and then come back here, we'll probably get a bigger flat and then drop and then go. But I'm not expecting this to happen. Not that it can't happen. I'm not expecting. We're expecting this to drop first, then go back up. So we'll see which one, right? It means, sorry guys, this is going to be a messy YouTube video because of this cough. Sorry about that. Okay, my apologies again. Yes, let's go. So right now I wouldn't be trading the euro. There's no point trying to catch the last move down. It might catch you instead of you catching it. So just leave it alone, and then we'll decide what to do with it. Pound, same thing, probably leave it alone. Pound dropped. I wasn't expecting the drop to be that big. We thought the drop would only come and break this low, which means it's going to do this and then go back up. It came pretty deep. Would that structurally change anything? So let's go into 4 hours. No, structurally it's really not changing anything. It's a deep pullback, but this is the low of the move, right? This is the low. So you're still about like 68%. I think that's pretty good for upside. So I wouldn't be surprised if this continued to go. So buy setups on the pound is still possible, right? There's still, if we get good buy setups from the bottom here, we will take them. You can correct this now to this. It doesn't make a difference, right? So we can still look for buy setups. You want a flag or something on the 15, more like a correction, not even a flag. You did have a flag here. It was pretty small and it's not well structured, right? It's kind of a small. So I want something more decent like this. And then we'll start to buy it because there's no guarantee that this is going to go up. It could, but there's no guarantee on that, right? So we will be looking for the buy setup on this one. Stay with the CAD. It broke the low. If you're in the 5 minutes with the CAD that we took this morning, stay with it. I know because I'm tracking it. I'm in the trade. So let's go. Okay. Aussie, buy. No question asked. So you were supposed to buy Friday Aussie and close it for break even. You're looking for buy setup on Aussie. You only need a little flag here if you're not in already. I know some of you are in already. Congratulations. That's good. You need this to make a little bigger flag. You don't try to catch it. You're supposed to catch this one or this one, right? But if this gets a little bigger, take the trade. Aussie only buy. Structurally, we're only looking for buy in the Aussie. I don't care if it's going to drop more. That's not our problem, right? We are looking for this trade up. And if we're right, sorry, not that one. We're looking for this trade up. So first we'll look for this one, right? First we're going to see whether this, because if this belongs to anything else or, to this one or so, we might not get it. But because this is in here, we're looking for this. And that's a big trade. That's a lot of trades, right? Come back here and then do this. So buy, Aussie buy setup. 1 second, guys. Somebody is breaking the place. These people with the repairs, they're never stopping. Okay. That's it. Look for buy setups. Nothing but buy setups. If it's going to drop, let it drop. New Zealand, buy setups. You should be in New Zealand already. Twice. Some of you should be either in this one or in this one. I'm in this one, but this didn't go exactly to the bottom. So if you were with me in the Asian session and you didn't put your entry order on, I had my entry order on, but if you didn't put yours, I hope you got this one. We just took this one when we started the recording, right? Or before the recording. So make sure you get this. We're only looking for buy setups. We know these patterns. We've been tracking them for a while. And there is no question of whether you should buy that. Absolutely not, right? It didn't break the low. It came very close to, but it doesn't matter whether it break the low or not. That's irrelevant. We're going to trade this back to the top. And if it drop again, then let it drop again. Not our problem. You're only looking for buy setups. So let's go. By the way, gold took off. That's a missed opportunity. Had it pull back a little, would have been a good one. But anyway, no problem. CAD dropped really nice. So if you're in CAD, you're doing well. CAD is going good. New Zealand is going good. All right, let's go. Where we are, we're in New Zealand, right? Well, CAD, we're going on to the CAD right now. So go back to the 5 minutes. I explained this in details at the start. It broke the low, stay with it. Right? Every time you make a new low to exit the trade, you have to have an impulse and a flag. The first pullback is never your problem. The first pullback could be the possibility of a running flat forming or a flat forming or something, right? So stay with this. That's a small one. I wouldn't advise put it if you weren't in from the early. Probably wait for a bigger one now because you have this small flat, you have this small correction. At some point, it will probably drop a little more, but then it's going to go for a deeper one. So if you're in the trade, you're only thinking of your exit, like how you're going to exit this trade. If you actually took this small one, no problem. Keep a stop above the top, right? That is just to be as a safety mechanism. Let's go. Swiss. Swiss just missed it by a bit. Remember, this thing is really amazing. We were insisting this thing is going to break the top. I think it's going to go break the top. If dollar index is going to break the top, Swiss will break the top. The only one that doesn't, that might not go more is CAD, but it could still go, right? Yen has a little more to go to. Aussie and New Zealand could still go down a little more. There's no need to, but it can. Nothing's wrong with that. We're going to keep buying, right? This should break the top. So you got to be careful in selling this. If you are buying here, I hope you close the trade. It's pulling back. I don't think it's dropping from this point. I think it's just making deeper corrections again to go because this was the top and we almost break this top. So very likely this would be a deep correction and then they'll go break the top. So let it pull back. We'll decide if we're going to take the buy. Yen. Yep, yen looks like it's going to go break. So yen, you can go for a buy, but it's only this move. It's only this move here. If you get the buy, and then it's going to drop. So you got to move like this in the yen before it drop. You got to move like that in the Swiss before it drop. CAD is already dropping. New Zealand, Aussie already going up. Euro pound can go up. They can come down back and go up. It doesn't matter. It wouldn't structurally change the 4 hour and the daily. Gold should go up. Gold most likely will retest the top and then come down, right? Silver, we'll see. It's not very clear what it's going to do. So I think this week is going to be amazing. If last week was very good for you, at the end of today, I'll put out the poll for the month for January. Remember, we promised that at the start of the year, we're going to poll everybody. And if you're struggling, we're going to do 1-on-1. Right? So if you don't answer the poll and you're not interested, then good. Because we still are not getting the full turnout from all the active traders we have in it. And some traders are still coming back. Surprisingly, one person is coming back from 2016. That is how much, that's 8 years ago the person took the course and now he's coming back. Right? So yeah, lifetime access. Nothing good, nothing better than having lifetime access, right? After 8 years, the person decided to go back to trading. Pretty young guy. He actually took the course when he was still in college at the very start. I spoke to him this morning. And I was surprised. He's still pretty young. I was like, oh, 8 years and you're still young. When did you take the course? And he was like, I took it very, very early when I was in college and finished college and was working for us. And he said, I'm coming back to trading now. He was just like trying to figure out what he's going to do. And then took the course and he decided now he's mature enough to trade and he's got the skills and all of that. So yeah, welcome back. So that's it. Let's go. Yeah. I will skip all of this for YouTube. We'll do that after we do the recording for YouTube. We don't want to have too long a recording for YouTube. So let's go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some of these. Natural gas. Buy setup. It's consolidating here. Go for the buy. Right? Some of you took the buy on Friday and you close it. Excellent. It's still a buy setup. We're trying to go back to break this top, right? It doesn't necessarily have to break the top, right? Because if this is the B part with all the consolidation, it will just probably do this, come back here, and then go. But look for the buy setup here today. I think that's an easy one. It's not a very tough one, and you guys can get a trade. It's consolidating. It probably will consolidate some more here. And then don't try to sell this as yet. Because this is really sharp. So it might come a little deeper, but don't try to sell it. There's no point in that. Let's go. Oil. Yeah, this would have been a break even. Is it ready for the upside? Let's see in the 4 hours. Not yet. I still think it can drop some more. That is just a deep pullback. Right? This is just a deep pullback because it probably will still come here and then go back up. We're looking at this as a 1, 1, 2, 3, go back up there and then drop. So it probably from here, if you get a buy setup, it could pull back deep, but then it's going to drop. So be careful with the buy. Let's see if we have a sell setup in it. Not necessary. Probably give you another buy setup. Give you another buy setup here, but be very careful, right? Because I don't think it's going to take off from there. Probably give you one of these deep corrections and then drop. Right? So it's more of a deep correction to drop. US30? Yep. That one dropped nice. So we're going to put it like this. And you're looking for it to come back. If it's coming back, I think we broke this top. Yeah, we broke that top. So any buy there would have been with caution. And if it's starting to drop from there, we're coming back to the trend line, and probably we could break the trend line now, right? So we'll have to look back at these patterns and see if this has any. It's a sharp move, so I think that was an impulse up. Watch it coming back here. Go to the 1 hour. Yeah, you probably didn't want to buy that, but if you did buy it, I hope you closed it. If you bought that and you see the consolidation, close it. This dropped really nice, so wait for a deep pullback and then we'll sell. Can it go back up one more from here? It's still possible. You can make an argument for running flat with this. So if it goes up, if it comes up here, make a flag. Take this trade to break the top again. If it consolidates here, we're selling. Right? Because this is not that sharp, but you could make an argument for running flat here. So only if we get a buy setup, we good. If not, good sell. S&P 500, perfect. If you got the sell, I explained this trade setup. If you put it there, you got the sell, close the trade. Right? That should go up one more. This one is definitely going to go up one more. You can look for a buy setup. Take that out. That was the sell. Look for a flag here, buy to the top. Right? We knew this was going to drop, so there's no question in that. Magic works. Right? So anybody says you can't do forecasts, here is a good thing. Right? This one, same thing, sell setup. This was the buy to go back to the top here. And then if you fill this, it was supposed to tag the top. It didn't tag, but it's okay. That's the drop is here. It's still upside. Right? It hasn't complete the pattern as yet, so which means I wouldn't put it this one, I'll put it this one, still upside, right? We'll figure out the pattern in here. If it keeps coming back, we'll see which one we're going to put it with, but it's still upside. Could drop a little more. There's a good chance it could drop a little more. This could probably come back here and then go. So we're still in this consolidation. Nothing has changed. So this one you're buying to see whether it's going to break out or just come to the top and go back down. Right? Let's go. Nifty. Okay. Nifty will probably consolidate. There's a flag forming here. If you get this flag, sell it. Because this will not be the big move. This might just be a correction, right? Like one of these corrections and then drop. We're looking for this one up, right? We're looking for this one, that bigger one. But if you get a small one like this, if you were in this trade, you close it somewhere here. If you didn't, close it now. If this is a flag, put a sell under the flag, take off this, close that trade, put an entry here. If this climbs up more, you'll get a flat for the upside. So you have to close this. There's no question about that. If this comes here and then come back here, you try to buy this from here, good. Right, but it has to confirm this because this is the first impulse. This is a flag. That means it breaks the slow, look for the upside. So there's a trade to the downside there. Okay, CAD is moving well. I'm going to pause here now. We don't need to do any more of those. CAD is going well. So if you're in the CAD, stay with it. I think that's enough. This was a 5-minute trade, so it's going well. It will probably start a consolidation deeper here. So here's what you're going to do. We never close on the first candle or the first pullback. But if you're in this trade from here, you start managing this one for the close and then re-enter. Right? If it makes a small flag drop, keep tracking it. We don't know how many small flags more is going to make until it drop and then start for the 15-minute or the 1 hour correction. But that is coming. Right? So keep track of it. One candle is not a reason to close a trade. You guys know the rules. Come back here. Bitcoin. Let's see how far it dropped and what is the pattern. We did break the top here, right? So this one is, let me just put this properly because this one is a little, this was the flat. Once it broke the top, then it made a flat here, and we were discussing this flat. This flat could be a 1, 2, 3 for upside. It could be a 1, 2, 3 for upside, make a new high, or this could just be a big flat before the big drop. And this could be the absolute top before it starts dropping. So how would you know that? Well, if you were selling here, you did excellent. I think we spoke about that. That's why we have these patterns so detailed drawn out. If you sold this here or you sold it here, you did excellent. Close the trade. Wait for this to tell us. If it makes a flag here, which I think this likely is going to happen, sell this because that could start a really big drop. If for whatever reason it goes back up, it comes here and make a flag here, buy it, a flag like that, buy it because it's going to retest the top. So the flag would be the buy setup, the flat would be the sell setup. Flat means it has to stay within this range. Come back here, go back up to the top, and then drop. Right? So which one is going to come? In this case, we wouldn't know because this is a really huge flat and it's very much at the top of the impulse. Right? If the impulse was bigger or the flat was smaller, we probably would assume it's going to continue to go down. But at this point, we don't know that. Right? Let's see. Ethereum, perfect drop. We're expecting that drop. I thought it would go higher. I thought it would come here first. We're looking for this flat. Right? Impulse. And then you get 1, 2, 3, go back there, make that flat, and then drop. But if you were looking for a sell setup, there are two ways, either an entry here. Once this go back, you can take this out. We'll take this to drop, here go. So take that out, that becomes the flat. Once it goes up, you would know that is it, and this was the flat we end up with, right? This one. So either an entry or a lower flag here. That's a 4 hour. So 1 hour would be good. This is a good sell setup. Actually, you had it higher. You had this sell setup first. So once this went up to the top there and broke out of the structure, you would put this one, sell there, sell there, sell there, 3 sells. This is going more. So where is it going? Good. Now we have a big question, right? We tagged the top, but we didn't. Sorry, guys. My apologies for that, man. So I have a cough. Either I don't do the webinar or I do it, but there'll be some cough in it. So excuse me for that, right? We did break the top, right? We kind of tag it. So the question is that the top of the correction? If that is the top of the correction, we're breaking this low, right? Which means you'll probably get some consolidation here, right? Something like this even. And then this is going to drop through the bottom. But what if this is a running flat forming here? What if it's making its own kind of a running flat? You have a big correction in here, right? So what if this is some kind of a running or expanding flat? In that case, it's going to go back here, make a flag here, and then this flag is going to go up. Right? This flag is going to repeat that up move, retest the top, and then come back here. So how we're going to know that? Well, you go into 15 minutes, and you see what it's doing here. Right now, this is a really sharp pullback, but that could be the first impulse in a possible flat. So you want to see some kind of a consolidation. You're getting a running flat. And you know my rule on running flat. If you're right about running flat, it's a running flat. If you're wrong about a running flat, you don't have to worry about it. Right? You guys understand that. You know what to do with the trade. But if it consolidates here more and stays at this level, we buy it. If it comes down and make a flag and make a flag and make another flag and come here and then go back up there, this will become a sell. Don't try to sell this one down. That would be the B part. But you can try to buy it. If it's a small flag for upside, you can literally put an entry order here. Now you know how to manage that trade. Put an entry order. If this is still the impulse and it's making like a 1, 2, 3 and come back, get rid of that trade. You want to see it go, 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 not stopping, right? Because it's a really small flag. And if it's a huge impulse, you wouldn't get, you'll have a small flag, right? The flag will stay small if it's a huge impulse. And XRP dropped. Let's see how far. Yep, nothing new, dropped really nice. This one has nothing to do with this. We are looking at this as a contracting flat. If we're wrong about it, it's an expanding flat. Right? That's the only option we have. But I think this contracting flat looks really good. So I wouldn't put the expanding flat, especially with a flat at the top there. And that means this one could be coming back all the way to the bottom, right? Remember the XRP, you go for the sell. So this is relatively sharp, right? This one could be relatively sharp, which means it can come here and go back up. Right? You can look at this in some way as a possible running flat. Go back up and then come here and then go. That's one option. The second option is, well, this is just a correction of its own, some kind of a contraction in here. Probably look at it like this. And this is a 1, 2, 3 with a slow piece here. That's possible. And this just comes back to the bottom here and then go. So it's easy. You don't have to guess which one it's going to do. Just follow the patterns from the top, right? Should this start an up move for that possible running flat that I showed you from where it is, this move down up there, you're going to have a flag at the top here, right? You're going to have a correction at the top here, which looks like a running flat already. And that's more up move to retest the top, right? If this turns out to be a running flat with an entry, it's going to retest the top. If it come down more into this and do this, it means we might be going down to retest the bigger low, and it's not a running flat. Well, which one is it? We don't know. You don't have to know that which one it is, right? You just have to wait for the patterns to set up, and then you're going to get the trade. So with that said, I think I'm going to stop the recording, but then we will continue the webinar within the group, right? So we look at more of the trades. We'll record for our traders. To my YouTube viewers, thank you very much for your following. I pretty much understand that you guys really need this video for, to help you. But like I said, I've been doing them for so many years, and the people who wanted to join, who wanted to learn already joined. The rest of you, I have no idea why you're not joining. Like I said, you had the option of a subscription. It's just $100 a month. And that goes to pay for the course, which means there are a lot of people who finished the installment program that took it when we offered it first, and are already active members of the group, and they don't have to pay a single cent for the rest of their life, and they have access to all the best traders in the group, including, people who are making $1 million trades. So people whose account is in the millions, I should say. Well, basically, it's a 7-digit trade. So that's it. Your choice, right? But we're stepping it up. We're stepping it up to make sure all the people who are in the group are successful. I'd rather spend that time doing one-on-one with traders who are struggling than, do YouTube videos and all of that. By now, everybody knows me. At least those who know me will decide whether to join. The rest of them, they'll have to figure it out for themselves. So thank you very much for your support. I will still put out video once every now and then, how I remember, maybe once a month, not that often. And we'll see where we go from there. Thank you for your support so far, and see all of you maybe next month. Take care. Bye.